Hey guys, we are live here again this Monday morning here on Facebook with Breakfast with the Banner. And this morning, of course, Greg and I are here, and then we have got Coleman Dixon here with Bad Bandit rub and seasoning. So we're gonna let him talk a little bit about what he's got up his sleeve right now, what he's doing, and many of you know Coleman is on the sheriff's department here, sheriff deputy. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And he's quite a frequent patron here at the Banner. And,
He's a regular.
He's a regular.
He's a regular just about every day.
Put him to work, and
You gotta keep Willie working.
That's right.
You gotta keep him going.
Yeah.
But we're gonna turn it over here to if Greg, do you have anything you'd like to?
Well, I just want to say we're grateful to have you
Thank
this
you.
morning, man. And you've been an incredible supporter of New Direction Printing,
Absolutely.
and I don't know if I'm just going to give this away right off the top.
Okay.
This weekend, my wife's in nursing school. I mean, and we've traveled the world singing and playing music forever.
Mhm.
And we're at the stage of our life we're transitioning. So
Sure.
Charlotte is actually in her senior year of nursing.
Awesome.
So I don't see her much.
Mhm.
It also means that I play Mr. Mom
Ah.
at
Yeah.
our house these days.
Yeah.
So we had some frozen salmon
Mhm.
that I took out of the freezer and I made salmon, Brussels sprouts, and some rice. And I seasoned the salmon with your rub.
Yeah. And how was it?
Amazing. It was so amazing
Okay.
that I took the rub and I seasoned everything else with it. So we seasoned Brussels sprouts, I seasoned the rice, and the salmon, all three. And man, I made my wife's weekend. So
That's awesome.
I owe you big time for that.
No, no,
Thank
no,
you.
no. It's.
I know you were saying earlier about putting on potato chips,
Yeah.
and I know you mentioned you're in patties. You
Mhm.
got your seasoning in patties right now.
Yes.
And I do that with the patty seasoning, and just put it on potato chips or even a baked potato.
Yeah.
So
This stuff right here
Yeah.
is, I'm telling y'all, and listen, I'm a foodie. I'm a redneck foodie. But I'm going to tell you right now, this stuff is absolutely amazing. My brother barbecues. He smokes everything. And he's actually beginning his catering business. And he's going to use the Bad Bandit
Really?
seasoning.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow.
I told you I was going to make you day today, man. I ain't
That is-
kidding.
That's amazing.
Hey, we ain't playing.
no.
We ain't playing. We get serious about food around here.
We
You can
do.
ask Willie.
Well.
Right
hey.
around 11 o'clock,
Mhm.
I get antsy. He sees it in my face. He says, "You're getting hangry, ain't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting a little bit hangry."
Is that why he locks the door at 11
He
o'clock?
locks
Keep
the door
anybody
at
out
11
of
o'clock,
here?
man, because I get
Okay.
I get crazy when I fear hunger.
I
I
understand.
do. I fear hunger. So anytime I get a chance to eat, I eat.
That's awesome.
Man, tell us about the rub. Tell us how you got started and just the whole 9 yards. Just get after it.
Well, I love to cook. I've always loved to cook. I do most of the cooking at home, and we were at a store one day, and my wife saw one of these pellet smokers, and she said, "Is that something you want?" Because we have a camper at the lake at Holiday Hills, and I said, "I'd love to have one." Because I want to try my hand at smoking, like doing briskets and stuff like that. And so about mid 2017, I started trying to develop a rub seasoning because you can go to the store and buy rub seasonings and all that stuff, and there's some great ones out there. Just none of them really fit what I was looking for. So I just started grabbing ingredients off the shelf and putting mixes together. And it took me about 2 years to pull some of this out, add a little bit of this into it, and this is what I came up with. And so I started using this particular recipe all last year at the campground, and people kept coming to my campsite wanting to eat. And so I'd do 6 slabs of ribs and Boston butts and things like that. And everybody said, "You need to start selling that seasoning." And I thought, that's just a lot of work. And it has become a lot of work, but it's been an awesome
Something
experience.
you enjoy doing.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
obviously. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so beginning of this year, I just said, you know what, I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see what happens. You have the typical disagreement with the wife over the money part of it because you know it takes a lot of money, a lot of time to develop this, and I said, let me just try it and see what happens. And if the orders start coming in, then I have something. And sure enough, within about 10 days, I was just getting bombarded with orders.
Yeah.
All right, so I cook
Mm-hmm.
recreationally, and I'm one of those. I put my heart into everything I do.
Sure.
But I fly by the seat of my pants a lot too.
Right.
So you said a while ago, it's something I find very interesting. You messed with the seasoning for a period of 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got to it, I mean, when you found it, how did you? Because I always forget. My wife will ask me, because how much did you put of this and how much? I don't know.
Every time I made a rub, I'd write down exactly what I put in it.
Okay, so you're organized, and I'm not. You're better than me.
Well,
Is that what you want to hear?
Well, I was on a journey. I was on
Yeah.
a mission to find what I wanted, and I didn't want that to happen when I found it.
Yeah.
To go, oh no, what did I put in it?
Absolutely.
And so, anytime I mixed a batch of rub and changed a combination, I always wrote it down.
Yeah, good.
And then this one, I found it, and it was kind of that eureka moment, like that's exactly what
So
I
it
was
really
looking for.
was. You knew.
It really
you knew
was.
exactly. When
It
you,
really was.
Okay.
I made some chicken that night with it, and of course my wife is my taste tester,
Yeah.
and she said, "That's fabulous. Don't change a thing."
Yeah.
And I said, "Okay," and I kept that recipe, and then I increased it in size so that I can make larger batches, and just started making it with Lake and putting on everything that I made, and it just has snowballed from there.
Chad, have you tried it?
I have not tried it.
Man,
I
you
have
got
not tried it.
Listen, he gave me a free sample. What was it? About a month ago.
About a month
ago?
and a half. Mm-hmm.
And I took it home, opened it up, and I told Charlotte, my wife, I said, you got to taste this. This is incredible.
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, potato chips, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you put it on. But this weekend, I'll tell you something. I mean, you literally can put it on anything,
Yeah.
and it makes it taste great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing how it started because I originally designed it for a meat rub.
Okay.
That's what I created it for, was doing briskets and ribs and chicken and things like that. And as people were getting it, they were like, oh, I put it on salad. I put it on potato chips. I put it on popcorn. And it's become an all-around seasoning more than just a rub.
Man, I put it on everything. We were making. My son loves for me to make like cheese quesadillas.
Mhm.
And I'll do them in the pan, like a cast iron. We're a cast iron family. And I grew up around cast iron.
Sure.
My mom cooked out of cast iron, still does, and so I do. And I inherited a lot of her. She's given me my own cast iron set when we got married and everything. But anyway.
Did you season them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I'm from Mississippi, man.
I got to verify. Just saying.
Absolutely. They're seasoned.
There's a process.
There is a process. Mine are very well seasoned.
Great.
And I use the 14-inch that I have to cook my kids' quesadillas in. Because it's plenty round. I can still get underneath, flip that thing. But I seasoned it with the rub. This I guess it was last week when I did that for Landon.
Yeah.
And man, I'm telling you,
I bet you this would be good mixing with some cornbread.
I'd
Speaking
try
of
it
cast iron
on
skillets,
anything,
because
dude.
you know
I'm not kidding. I mean, listen. We don't bring anybody in here that we don't believe in, and I'm just amazed at it.
Yeah.
Well, thank
It's
you.
good stuff. I can't wait for my brother. My brother's name's Jason Ritchie. Jason, our audience has heard me say before in the past that Jason's an educator out of North Mississippi. He and my sister-in-law are very special people. And my sister-in-law actually works with severely mentally handicapped children.
Yeah.
And she's a sign language specialist. She's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Jason just is a jack of all trades, man. I mean, he started playing music before I did. He cooks better than me. He does wood carving. He does.
Younger brother, older brother?
He's younger.
Younger.
He's younger, and he got handed the lion's share of the talent in our family. No kidding. But I've eaten barbecue everywhere, literally. And I lived very close to Memphis, which is like dry rub capital of the world.
Yes, it is.
There's a restaurant there that I dearly love called Rendezvous. It's been around, I don't know, since post World War II, or maybe
Really?
I might be dating it a little bit early there,
Yeah.
but
Mhm.
I know it's been around for a very long time. Had a lot of very well-known people that
Mhm.
have, been patrons there.
Right.
It's actually underground. First one burnt. It was a fire.
Wow.
I think it was back in the 60s or 70s. They burnt, had to rebuild it and everything, but they did. All the servers in there are brilliant. Some of them are gentlemen that have been working there for over 40 something years,
Really.
That's incredible.
and they don't carry pads around. They walk around, and I mean, you can have a table of 15 people, and they just when you
That's-
give it, and
that's
they just
awesome.
point to you and repeat it back to you, and then
Really?
every time. But anyway, their rib rub is amazing,
Mhm.
and I would stack this up with it anytime, and that's saying
Really?
something.
Well, see, that's one of my favorite things is ribs. I love
Mhm.
ribs, but dry ribs.
Okay.
With a vinegar.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Vinegar sauce.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this will be.
and you'll love it. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm a vinegar-based sauce person as well. I'm
Mhm.
I'm from North Carolina originally, so that's very popular
Yeah.
there.
Absolutely. I love that. We have really a good friend. He passed away this past year. His name is Richard Goolsby. He was a physician's assistant in a little town that I used to live in, Lincolnton, Georgia.
Mhm.
Uh, Richard was in a terrible accident just this late, I think it was maybe early this year.
Mhm.
And we lost him. He had a place called Goolsby's. His family still has it now. They run it out of it's started out in Lincolnton in his dad's old grocery store. I'm not a grocery store, but an old convenience store.
Mhm.
And we used to eat there like 3 times a week.
Mhm.
But I mean, his was that vinegar-based
Yeah.
barbecue sauce,
Mhm.
and it's amazing. But I'd love to get them.
Yeah.
I know Kara and their whole family. I may ship them some of this stuff.
It's making me
Richard,
hungry this morning.
well, Richard had his own hot sauce.
Yeah.
He was a hot sauce fanatic.
Yeah.
He would go all over the world and collect. He had bottles in his restaurant
Mhm.
of every kind of hot sauce you can imagine.
Yeah.
And then he finally made one called Goolsby's. And it's got the iron skillet.
Nice.
And the G is really cool.
Very nice.
It's good. I'm gonna send them some stuff.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
let
I
them
was
what we're
reading the
thinking of.
ingredients on this. It's got some cayenne pepper in it. You plan on making one maybe like really hot?
Yes. The only feedback that I've had from people that is not necessarily negative, just a suggestion or criticism, critique, was they like their rubs a little hotter.
Mhm.
When I created this, I wanted it to be an all-around seasoning that anybody could really
Right.
enjoy. But I do have plans for a hotter version, and I also have plans for a seafood version that has
Ah.
more of a citrus blend
Yeah.
in it,
Mm.
and maybe some saffron or whatever,
Mhm.
just to add into it. So yeah,
I
have
think this is
plans.
perfect, brother.
I know, and I don't want to mess it up at all, and of course my wife will be my taste tester again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'll take my
Absolutely.
base recipe
Yeah.
and adjust a little bit for a hotter version and adjust a little bit for the season
Yeah.
for the seafood. But yeah, I want to see this take off before I try to do too much
Mm-hmm.
at one time. This, you know what they say, until you get a hobby.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now this is just a hobby for me that's really blooming into something.
And speaking of,
Mhm.
where do you see it? Where do you want it? Where do you want it to go? What's your goals?
Well, right now my goal is to make it popular in Western Kentucky, and then see where it goes from there. That was my wife's suggestion because I started out doing a lot of online sales with it, and she said you got to get it out here. You got to make it popular here, and so that's when I started doing the wholesale
Yeah.
here, and I retire from the sheriff's office. I retire next August. And so this is kind of my retirement plan to see,
Mm-hmm.
in law enforcement environment, not to get into that in law enforcement environment. I've done enough. I've seen enough, and I'm ready to do something that I really enjoy. I love law enforcement. I love my job. I love where I work. It's just this has always been a passion of mine
Right.
is cooking, and so I've always tried to find something that I could do and make a living at.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just it's been a blessing. It just happened overnight.
Do you find that this is a stress reliever for you?
1,000%. Yes. There's nothing better, in my opinion, if you enjoy it. There's nothing better than cooking a large portion and feeding a bunch of people and watching them smile and say,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, that's fantastic."
There is something.
That
about
is a great feeling. It's an ego boost. It really is. It makes you feel good
Yeah.
about what you're doing, and this product has really been an ego boost.
What you have a website?
I do. It's bad-bandit.com.
Bad-bandit.com.
And I'll have that up on the in the description too, where you can go to that, and have a Facebook page as well, don't you?
Facebook page. It's Bad Bandit Butt Rub.
Butt rub. Okay.
Because that was the original name.
Yeah.
It was Bad Bandit Butt Rub. And of course, when you go through the process of getting a trademark and registering a trademark, you have to research what you can use and what you can't. And the butt rub was already taken. And my wife is like, why don't you just make it like rub and seasoning?
Yeah.
And that way you're not, making it only for one product.
Right.
Yeah.
And, she's been awesome.
That's a brilliant call, because I'm going to tell you, man, I've used it so far, because I'm not a big smoker guy. I wait till my brother comes to see me, and because I stay out of that business.
Right.
But I do cook everything else. So for me, it's been a fantastic go-to seasoning in our cabinet. Matter of fact, everything else is glumping up
Yeah.
because I don't use it anymore.
Well, that's the way it is with my wife. Of course, my wife is the cook, and I'm surprised I don't weigh like 500 pounds, because she's just like tremendous.
Yeah.
And she'll cook something and not tell me what's in it until after the fact. Was it good? Yeah, it was good. Well, here's what was in it, and then I because I'm the picky one.
Yeah.
And I tend to have my safe foods that I always stick with, and so this will be great. We have the the patty seasoning sitting up on the spice rack on the wall. So
This stuff's
will be great.
incredible. Your full name is Coleman Brooks
Dixon.
Okay, because I know I call you Brooks.
That's what I go by usually is my middle name. Any of my official paperwork and things like that, I use Coleman Dixon.
I got you.
That's just been a habit of mine, I guess, all my life.
And you said you've been in law enforcement for.
Oh, let's see. I started in June of '99.
Okay.
So when I retire, I'll have about 23 years.
23 years. Okay. Well, we appreciate your service to law enforcement and to our
Thank you.
this county, and
I appreciate it.
and I'm glad that you're able to. I think a lot of us are turning the pages. I know it seems to be a reoccurring theme with everybody that we've had in so far, and in our conversations as well. A lot of things have changed over the last couple of years, and I know it has for my wife and I. And I mean, Chad, it's we've had a lot of life changes, big things that we.
Right.
I was 25 years in the music industry, and still am. I'm not. I mean, it's not. But for now, it's pretty much disappeared.
Wow.
So I've been very grateful. God's blessed us with a wonderful business and wonderful friends like you and Chad to work alongside of, and it's a joy to come from Nashville to Kentucky every other day. I don't dread it. I look forward to it.
That's awesome.
So I think, like Michelle said a couple weeks ago, change is not a bad thing, and we're glad that you've got this,
Thank you.
that you're entering another chapter of your life, and we
Absolutely.
wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And we're very grateful to be a part of it.
We do have some comments here. Bobby Thorpe
Oh, Bobby.
says, "Way to go, brother." Heather Boyd Hammonds, she is, I think she's a regular viewer, and she just
Thank
wants
you,
to
Heather.
say hi. So,
Hey,
hi,
Hello, Heather.
Thank you for joining us again.
And Brent Williams, who many of you know, he writes a article for us in the banner every week or every other week.
Hey, Brent.
He says we're making him hungry. So,
Hey,
so it's never too
I'm with you, Brent. I wake up that way.
it's never too early to eat barbecue.
No.
Never.
not at
never.
all. Jim
Beverforden.
Befferforden.
All right, let me tell you a little about Jim real quick.
Okay.
When I first started this business, I went on Facebook and I basically said the first 45 people that send me your address, I'll send you a free 8-ounce sample.
Ah,
And with a survey sheet, an envelope that's already stamped. Doesn't cost you a thing to try my product. I'm trying to see if I have something here.
Yeah.
And Jim was one of the ones that I sent some to, and he has been phenomenal and just instrumental in helping me along the way. I know nothing about PayPal, and I called him up and I said, walk me through this process, and he did. And he said, if you don't mind, I'd like to build your Facebook page.
Yeah.
And I said, it's all yours. And he's the one that has built my Facebook page and has been fantastic. I can call him at a moment's notice and just with a question, and he's been great. So I just want to give a great shout out to Jim. He's been
Hey,
awesome.
Jim. Thank you.
You know, that's something that we talk about here. Is that, you know, when it's meant to be, God will bring the right people
Absolutely.
into your life.
Absolutely.
So there you go. That's another, you know, which is amazing. You know, how
Yeah.
that worked out. So
I was listening to a message this morning on God's providence
Yeah.
and His sovereignty, and man, I just, you know, I'm amazed by it.
yeah,
Was it Psalms? I'm not going to even attempt. I want to say it's in the 20s. I can't remember what it was quoted, but it's talking about David and when his son was coming after him, and
right.
you know he was being chased, you know, and everybody was reprimanded David, telling him to, you know, why aren't you lashing back? He said, who am I? I'm in God's hands. God's got this, whether it be for somebody, you know, coming at me or matter. Also, you know,